Good morning. Myself Guruswami K, Assistant Professor in Physics. Now I am going to deliver a fifth lecture on statistical mechanics. This concept belongs to paper 6 of 5th semester 3rd BSc course, belongs to Kuvempu University. In this lecture, we are going to learn about derivation of Fermi-Dirac statistics, drawing and interpreting related graphs. These are the learning objectives of this session. Session outcomes: we are able to derive FD distribution function and to know which kind of particles will obey FD statistics. Prerequisites for this session: factorial function, symbolic representation, that is summation pi, the product summation, that is equal to p1 into p2 into so on into pn. After taking log or ln, that is natural log to the base e, ln summation pi is equal to summation ln pi. Stirling's approximation: if m is large, then ln m factorial should be is equal to m ln m minus m. Next, we are using most probable distribution condition has maximum number of microstates and variation symbol delta. So the requisites for discussing the derivation of Fermi-Dirac distribution law. Now we are going to derive the expression for Fermi distribution function. Again, here this derivation can be divided into 4 steps. In 4 steps, we are going to understand how we are going to derive the expression for Fermi distribution function. Before going to discuss the steps, we should construct the problem, that is the system, the Fermi-Dirac system. This type of statistics is obeyed by indistinguishable particles of half integral spin that have antisymmetric wave function and obey Pauli's exclusion principle. That is, the particles involved are fermions. They are indistinguishable and they possess half integral spin, and in addition to that, they possess antisymmetric wave functions. So, let's consider capital N number of fermions with the total energy capital E. Suppose that N1 of capital N number of particles occupy the first energy level with energy say E1, and N2 among capital N possess energy E2, and so on. Let us now find out the total number of ways in which small Ni particles can be distributed in GI cells having the same energy Ei. Therefore, the number of distinguishable arrangements of Ni particles in GI cells is given as Gi factorial divided by Ni factorial into Gi minus Ni factorial, excluding this. Okay, this is the second step. Step 1, we are giving an expression now. Thermodynamic probability W is equal to summation over I Gi factorial divided by Ni factorial into Gi minus Ni factorial. This is for the capital N number of particles are to be distributed in different distinguishable arrangements with different energy states. Okay, just by taking summation over I of Gi divided by Ni factorial, Gi minus Ni factorial, okay, that gives what? The total number of distinguishable arrangements of arranging capital N number of particles in different energy states. That is, W is equal to summation over I Gi factorial divided by Ni factorial into Gi minus Ni factorial. In the step 2, we are going to applying natural log on both sides, as similar while discussing the BE derivation. No, the same manner here also we are going to applying natural log on both sides, and here also we found that this Ni and Gi are very large numbers, so we are going to use Stirling approximation. That is, log m factorial is equal to m log m minus m. Okay, so by using these two and solving the above equation, we have ln W is equal to summation of Gi ln Gi minus Ni ln Ni minus Gi minus Ni into ln of Gi minus Ni. The next step, the step 3, here we should consider the variations are computed using the constraint most probable distribution has d ln W that is equal to 0 or say d ln W maximum is equal to 0. This is the most probable distribution condition, and total number of particles and total energy and Gi are constant. Capital N is constant but Ni varies. So if that is the situation, if you are applying this most probable distribution condition, we have ln W maximum is equal to summation of minus ln Ni plus ln Gi minus Ni into delta Ni is equal to 0. Let's call this as equation 1. Again, since capital N and capital E are constant, that is total number of particles and total energy are constants, then we have summation delta Ni equal to 0, call this as equation 2, and summation Ei delta Ni equal to 0, call this as equation 3. The next step, step 4, we are going to multiplying equation 2 by minus alpha and equation 3 by minus beta and adding to equation 1, comma we get this. Here alpha and beta are again undetermined multipliers. So here if you do this in the above equations, we have summation of minus ln Ni plus ln of Gi minus Ni minus alpha minus beta Ei into delta Ni is equal to 0. We can notice that delta Ni are independent. Nothing but delta Ni not equal to 0. Thereby, this term should be is equal to 0. We equate to 0 this. And here we may again express this is in the form of ln A minus ln B, ln of A by B. Again, if you take negative sign common, minus in these two terms, minus of alpha plus beta Ei. Then if you transform to this RHS, then simplifying for Ni, we have Gi divided by e to the power of alpha plus beta Ei plus 1. This is what Fermi-Dirac distribution, where Ni is the number of particles are to be distributed in Gi cells with energy Ei. Again, identifying beta is equal to 1 by kT, we have Ni is equal to Gi divided by e to the power of alpha into e to the power of Ei by kT plus 1. This is what we call Fermi distribution. This is the expression for Fermi distribution. Now derive the Fermi distribution function. Just here distribution function should be is equal to Ni by Gi. Rearranging these two terms here, Ni divided by Gi, we have Fd is equal to 1 over e to the power of alpha into e to the power of Ei by kT plus 1. Like this, we are deriving Fermi distribution law and as well as an expression for Fermi distribution function. Fermi distribution function. Thank you. Recap of the session. Nature of fermions and their counting. Fermi-Dirac statistics, Fermi distribution function can be studied in the previous derivation. Thank you.